Let's see how this works filming from down here on the floor today. Hey quilters, I'm Kristen with ISeeStarsQuilting.com. Welcome to my channel. Today I am unpacking from my quilt retreat, and I personally consider myself an expert packer when it comes to trips and vacations. I might overpack a little bit in some cases. I have gotten very used to being efficient in my packing, but you know what? I am prepared for like all kinds of situations. So I have this area of stuff over here, and I wanted to show you kind of how I packed for quilt retreat, and then give you a peek at some of the stuff that I brought home too, as well as like the little gifts that people gave out for quilt retreat. If you're new to quilting retreats or you've never been to one before, that might be a new concept for you. So I'm going to go through that as well and show you the sweet little things that I got from some of my girls on quilt retreat. Okay, first things first, for this quilt retreat, I did try my best to pack light. Okay, we were driving, and in my head, I knew, like, as long as it fit in the car, I could bring it. But I didn't want that type of mentality, because as long as it fits in the car means I have to haul it from the car to the quilt retreat center. And then I have to pack it all up to bring it all home. Believe it or not, 90% of the stuff that I brought, quilting related and sewing related for the retreat, fit in this bag right here. It's just your regular reusable shopping bag. Yes, it is from Universal Studios in Orlando. When we went to the Harry Potter parks a couple years ago with my kids, it's just a reusable shopping bag. I love it, but 90% of my stuff fit in that bag. I did not end up bringing my own sewing machine this time. I opted to rent a sewing machine from Missouri Star. That's a gamble. Let's just say that that's a gamble. Also, it makes it really nice if you're flying, then you don't have to fly with your sewing machine. I'm going to put a link down in the description box down below. I have a blog article that I wrote on how to travel with your sewing machine that has really good information on, like, if you're flying and you have questions on what you can and cannot bring, that article answers a lot of the questions. Okay, so when I pack, I am very big into compartmentalizing. It works for my brain. I don't know if it'll work for your brain, but I kept almost everything that I needed in these two buckets right here. This one did not fit in my reusable shopping bag, my carrying tote for everything, but this one did. So I put it in there like this, and let's go through each of these boxes and I'll show you what I packed. So these are just regular like storage totes that I have bought for organizing purposes of, you know, who knows what. This was the retreat itinerary I had printed for all of the girls. It had everything that we were going to do on the retreat so that they could keep it nice and close with them the entire time. I brought a box of different bobbins. I wasn't sure, you know, if I would find something new, and this was way easier to pack than, like, you know, seeing if I could like search for a couple of those little bitty ones. This is a very handy tool that I keep with my threads. That way, you know, if I have like a project with a little bit of orange on it, I already have a bobbin made with orange thread. So, but I brought bobbins in here. I also had a rotary cutter. Let's see, where's the other one? Yeah, I have my other rotary cutter right here. I did bring an extra one just in case, because I wanted to make sure that everybody had what they needed, and if they didn't, they could borrow one of mine there. Also, people always have questions on which one I like better. Preference-wise, I love this one better. It is an older model Olfa one, and it's like ergonomic. So it has the lock on it right there. If I push it, you can push this down. And while you're using it, this is my left hand that I'm using it with, so it's a little bit awkward. But while you're using it, you squeeze and the blade comes out. When you let go, the blade goes in and the safety is on. However, if I'm not using it at all, you push that little button back through this side right there, and it makes it where this does not squeeze. So it's got a safety feature on it. Okay, I also brought some cute quilt labels in case somebody did not have one. Quilting is my superpower is that one. I brought, these are just like cheap craft scissors, but I haven't used them for anything other than fabric, so they work really well, and they're light. so I didn't bring my super heavy ones. This was the binding that I used on the quilt that I showed you, the Anna Maria Horner quilt. This was a little bit of the leftover binding from that, but I had already pre-made my binding prior to going to quilt retreat. I brought pins in case they were needed. Whoops, tucked my earrings inside my sewing case. So this is why we need to unpack, because that does not go with sewing stuff, but aren't those cute? So yes, I brought pin cushions so that I could have some extra pins if I needed them. I brought thread. I brought a pair of little bitty snips. Seam ripper. This is like a travel one. It's really small and easy to use. Again, my theory was pack light and pack only what you need. And some more thread, because I get nervous when the thread gets like this. Like it might run out, right? I don't know how much sewing I'm going to do, so I brought an extra one. This is my fancy note-taking pin. I mean, this just, it makes me feel so fancy and fun and creative while I'm using it. The other thing that I stacked in here that was really nice was this bag that always has my little clips in it. So this bag is really cool and travelable. I guess that's a word. I don't know. We're going to use it as a word. And I can just smush it, put stuff on top of it, close it, and it stays in there. The very last thing was my 6x12 ruler fit very nicely in the bottom of this. And that was pretty much all of my sewing tools that I brought. Now, let's look at the other box that I have. This is just another storage box, but this one actually, oh, that's my lanyard from retreat. This one actually had like pre-cut fabric that for a project that I was convinced that I was going to sew on. And I didn't really get to sew very much on it. So as you can see, they're all still nice and pre-cut. And then here are the other parts of that project. So this will be a project for another date. But I had all of my fabrics in here. So it was like tools over there and fabrics over here, except for this little guy, which is when I chain piece all of my pieces together, that little razor right there in the middle, because this is really nice and safe. I can't really get my finger down in there unless I tried. That helps cut through like the chain piecing really nice and easy. And then I have some Aurifil thread in here, which I did use on my thread stand. So here is all the fabrics. And then just in case I completely changed my mind, you know, I said I may have overpacked slightly, but that's only because I don't know what mood I'm going to be when I get in there. That's what I did. I packed an extra layer cake in there just in case. And this was something really cute that I actually had for the girls for their lanyards. I had a bunch of these little pins that you could choose from, and this one says coffee and books. We got a Quilt Town USA. And then on the other side of my lanyard, I have I only cried a little, yay. And this had me written all over it, which is overthinker. Those were the two containers that I brought. I also had in that bag, I brought my own iron just in case I needed it while I was sitting at my station. Instead of having to get up and walk across to the other side of the room, they did have irons there at the center, but I don't want to sew a seam, walk over to the other side of the room, come back, sew a seam, walk over to the other side of the room. So I just had my iron in case I didn't end up like using it, but it fit in the bag. And once I had kind of like limited myself to that carrying bag, it was whatever could fit in there was allowed to come, okay? The other things that I had on the side of that bag was this board right here, which is a portable ironing board. It's made out of like a really hard board and covered with a nice soft cloth that is heat resistant. And the other thing that I brought was my cutting mat that is nice and square. This one is a 13 by 13 cutting mat, and it's a good size, and it also has the ability to rotate. So I use this one at home a lot too when I want to put something down and rotate it to cut without having to pick up the fabric. So this is one I use at home a lot too, but it's a good travel size. Now, I told you I came home with a lot of shopping bags, and that is absolutely true. Okay, so when I came home, I had a few 2 other bags with stuff in them. Oh, this has my shopping. Okay, awesome. This one has my shopping stuff. So I did buy a quilt kit while I was there. It is this amazing kit, and I will be honest, I wasn't as inspired by the pattern as I was these gorgeous fabrics. They do have a pattern in there, so I can look up a pattern that is similar and make this quilt kit with a different pattern. So I just liked the bundle of the fabric. I can't help that. A couple charm packs that were on the clearance section. I picked up a couple layer cakes, more patterns. This one is a pattern that I acquired from Quilting is My Therapy. It's in Liberty, Missouri, and it is actually Angela Walters' quilt shop. So I picked up this. There's $1. I don't know what that's from. Okay, are we recording again? They gave us a block magazine. If you have not looked at these magazines, they're idea books, and so they have lots of different ideas, patterns, beautiful photography in them. I like to go on their website when there's a sale and buy like the older back issues of these, because you can get them on clearance for like a really, really good price. This is one of the cute things that I purchased while I was there. This is a set of 6 envelopes and cards, note cards, and I bought a couple of them for gifts for friends. Okay, let's go ahead and let's go through now the sweet little gifts that are retreat gifts. Okay, so if you have been to a quilt retreat before, you may know of this tradition. If you have not been to a quilt retreat before, you may not be aware of this tradition. When you come to a quilt retreat, it's always nice to like have a little something for all of the quilters. Sometimes they'll tell you about this ahead of time, sometimes they won't, but you know, it's just it's a nice way to come and like be friendly right off the bat. They went above and beyond. This is one of the gifts that one of the girls gave me. It is a Quilting Mends the Soul. It is just a sweet little journal, and it is beautiful. I love, love, love the pretty colors on it, and yes, quilting does mend the soul. My mom and I were both gifted these sweet little zipper pouches. These are handmade pouches by one of the girls, and it came like stocked with stuff inside it. Yes, magic chocolate. It has a little nail filing emery board. This is a needle keeper, so it makes it easier to find your needle, right? And it actually has a needle in there as well, so you don't have to like put it in the side or, you know, risk stabbing yourself with it. And then these teeny tiny travel snips. This was a really sweet gift, just as a thank you for hosting the retreat and for all of the work that went into it prior to, you know, it's like a hosting gift. When you go over to somebody's house for dinner or something, it's very, very sweet and very appreciated. One of the girls brought this for everyone, which was super kind. And not only is it an adorable bag, it's a bobbin keeper, so it sits on your table and it holds your bobbins, keeps them from running around, and also makes it easier to find. Also, this keeps your thread from unraveling. So isn't this cute? It has the little Hershey's Kisses and Hershey's Hugs, and then it has this cute little button charm with a pink star. And then it has some stickers in there and a little note from who gave it. This is another really sweet one that was gifted to me, and it's got a cute charm. I need a charm bracelet is what I need. I need a charm bracelet. That should be like my next thing to do. But it had a cute little charm that was attached to it. And then this one that was gifted to me is this, probably one of the coolest quilting retreat gifts that I've ever gotten, and it is from 2 girls that live up in the northeast side of the United States, and they brought some Old Bay seasoning, amazing seasoning for everybody. They brought everybody one of these gifts. Had a cute little starfish keychain, and then it had this sweet little poem that was nice and laminated on the back, this little story, and it was so sweet and thoughtful. Whew. So, yeah, I was very thankful on the way home that we were driving, but if you're looking at like how to pack while you're on a quilting retreat, think small. Think what's already there, and if worse comes to worse, you know, somebody else in that room probably has what you're looking for. If you forget a seam ripper, if you're out of thread, if something happens, somebody else in there has probably already overpacked and thought of it for you. And another thing that I was very well aware of is at the quilt retreat, like, you could literally walk right next door to all of the shops. So if I forgot fabric, if I like completely forgot my brain and didn't bring any needles for the machine, or I didn't bring my scissors or something, we weren't like out in the middle of nowhere at this place. We were right next door to the biggest quilting shop in the entire United States. So I wasn't as worried about what if I forget something as much as I need to be concise with what I'm bringing. I need to know the projects that I'm working on. I need to remember to make sure that I have the minimum things that I need, and remember to make sure that I bring things that I want to work on. You know, don't bring projects that you're like not inspired by and think that you're gonna get inspired by them. Try and pack small. Try not to get into the mindset of, oh, I'm bringing my car, so like I can bring my entire sewing room. Because as you see, I have a lot to unpack and put back where it goes. And believe me, after you get done with quilt retreat, you're not going to want to put all this stuff up immediately when you get home. Got everything that I needed in a couple bags, and most of it fit inside this bag right here on the way there, not on the way back. So if you have any questions on how to pack for retreat, what other ideas that you have, if you've been to quilt retreats before and you would like to share them down in the comments, I would gladly welcome them, because people on my channel do go down, they read the comments, and they learn things. So if you have wisdom to pass on, I would love to hear it. I am going to put a link down in the comments down below, or right here across the bottom of the screen, for other retreats that I am planning in the future. If you would like to go on a little quilty vacation with me, I would absolutely love to have you there. So thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Quilting is fun. It's amazing. It is a wonderful hobby. It's an addictive hobby, but it's a wonderful one, and I love to spread that joy to other people and teach them and let them know that it doesn't have to be hard. It can be something that you really, really enjoy and look forward to in your life. I would really, really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. Just hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell afterwards so that you can be reminded whenever I put up new content, new videos, which I do weekly. You can stay in the know with all things I See Stars Quilting. I'm Kristen with I See Stars Quilting. I will talk to you soon. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.